Your dog just did it again. Nose straight into your guest's crotch while everyone freezes in that excruciating silence. You're mortified. Your friend is uncomfortable. And your dog? He's just standing there wagging his tail like he accomplished something important. Because in his world, he absolutely did. What you're about to discover will completely change how you see this embarrassing behavior. And here's the part that might shock you. Sometimes your dog isn't just being nosy. He might be detecting something about your health that you don't even know yet. Let's get one thing straight right now. Your dog has somewhere between 200 and 300 million scent receptors in his nose. You have roughly 5 million. That's not a small difference. That's a different universe of perception. While you're noticing if someone wore cologne, your dog is running a complete chemical analysis of their hormonal state, stress levels, diet, and recent activities. His nose is a biological supercomputer, and the strongest signals in any room are coming from two places on the human body: armpits and groins. Not because dogs are perverts, because that's where humans broadcast the loudest chemical information. Here's what's actually happening. You have two types of sweat glands. Eccrine glands cover most of your body and produce watery sweat for cooling. Nothing special there. But apocrine glands are concentrated in your armpits and groin area, and they produce something entirely different: secretions loaded with pheromones. These chemical messengers carry detailed information about who you are. Your dog can't read your driver's license, but he can read your pheromones. And to him, your crotch area is essentially a biological ID card that he's hardwired to check. When dogs meet each other, they go straight for the rear-end sniff. That's their handshake. Your groin serves the exact same function in their communication system. Now here's where it gets interesting. Those apocrine glands don't really activate until puberty hits. That's when sex hormones flood your system and start converting into pheromones released through your skin. Ever notice dogs seem less interested in sniffing young children? This is why. Kids are broadcasting a much weaker signal. But once teenage hormones arrive, you become exponentially more fascinating to a dog's nose. And certain life events turn up the volume dramatically. Right after sexual activity, your pheromone production spikes hard. No, your dog isn't judging your life choices. He's simply noticing a major change in your chemical signature. Women during menstruation produce significantly elevated pheromones, which explains why dogs become more attentive during periods or even investigate bathroom trash. The signal is too powerful for them to ignore. Pregnancy does the same thing. New mothers constantly report their dogs becoming almost obsessive about sniffing them, staying close, acting protective. Your dog is detecting the massive hormonal revolution happening inside your body. Any significant hormonal shift registers on your dog's radar. Menopause, thyroid problems, starting or stopping birth control, even high stress periods alter your scent profile enough that your dog takes notice. He's essentially updating his file on you based on your new chemical signature. And before you think this is weird, remember, this is how dogs have navigated their social world for thousands of years. We're the odd ones for expecting them to ignore information their noses are screaming at them. The intensity of this crotch-sniffing obsession often depends on how boring your dog's life is. I mean that literally. A dog who only goes outside for quick bathroom breaks has an incredibly limited scent database. His world is sensory deprivation. So when someone walks through your door carrying new smells, he investigates aggressively because it's the most stimulating event of his entire day. He's desperate for new information. Compare that to a dog who gets long walks through different neighborhoods, sniffs trees and grass, encounters other dogs regularly, explores parks and trails. That dog has a rich library of scents stored in his brain. Your guest's post-gym crotch is still interesting, but it's not the only interesting thing in his universe. You can actually reduce this behavior dramatically by enriching your dog's scent environment. Take varied routes on walks. Let him stop and sniff instead of dragging him along. Play scent games where you hide treats around the house. Give his nose legitimate work to do. Training helps too, but consistency is everything. Teaching a rock-solid leave it command is your best weapon. When visitors arrive, keep your dog leashed initially. The second he moves towards someone's crotch, firmly say, "Leave it." When he complies, even for 1 second, immediately reward him with a treat or enthusiastic praise. You're creating competing motivation. The reward for obeying you needs to outweigh his curiosity about the smell. This takes repetition and patience, but it absolutely works if you commit to it. Now we need to discuss when this behavior crosses from annoying into potentially significant. If your dog has never been particularly interested in sniffing you and suddenly becomes obsessive about it, pay attention. I'm not saying panic, I'm saying notice. If he's fixated on one specific area of your body and won't stop trying to investigate it, that warrants consideration. Not hysteria, but consideration. Dogs can detect cancer, diabetes, seizures, and other medical conditions through scent changes alone. When someone develops cancer, their metabolism shifts. That metabolic change alters blood chemistry, which eventually affects the pheromones released through skin. Your dog smells that difference. He doesn't understand what cancer is, but he knows something changed about you, and it's compelling enough that he keeps investigating. I've personally known several cases where dogs suddenly started obsessively sniffing or licking one spot on their owner's body, and when the owner finally went to the doctor, they found a tumor in that exact location. One client told me her dog wouldn't stop pawing at her left breast, always the same side, becoming almost frantic about it. She finally scheduled a mammogram. They found an early-stage tumor. Early detection saved her life, and she credits her dog entirely. Your dog isn't a medical device. He can't diagnose anything, but he is extraordinarily sensitive to chemical changes that might indicate something's wrong before you have conscious symptoms. If your dog's behavior dramatically changes and becomes persistent, get checked out. 99 times out of 100, you're fine. But that 100th time, your dog might be giving you life-saving information. Diabetics sometimes report their dogs acting strangely right before blood sugar crashes, becoming agitated and pawing insistently. Dangerous drops in blood sugar create detectable scent changes. Some people have trained their dogs specifically for these alerts. Even untrained dogs can pick it up. There's also evidence that dogs sense when someone is near death. Hospice workers describe facility dogs suddenly spending time with specific patients who pass within hours or days. The body releases compounds like cadaverine as it shuts down. Your dog isn't psychic. He's smelling biological reality. Should you freak out every time your dog sniffs someone's crotch? Most of the time, it means absolutely nothing except that humans have apocrine glands. But dramatic behavior changes, obsessive fixation, persistent attention to one area, those deserve a doctor's appointment. It costs nothing to check. It could cost everything to ignore a potential warning. So here's the real answer. Your dog's nose is sophisticated biological equipment constantly gathering information you'll never access. When he investigates someone's crotch, he's reading their chemical story. It's natural, normal, and not sexual. But it is socially unacceptable by human standards, which means you need to train alternative behaviors, enrich his scent environment, teach impulse control, and stay alert to changes that might signal he's detecting something important about health. Has your dog ever acted obsessively interested in sniffing you or someone else? And did it turn out there was a medical reason? Share your story in the comments below. And if you want more honest, science-based information about dog behavior without the myths and nonsense, subscribe to Pet Love right now. We're here to help you actually understand your dog, not just guess.